See you at the party, Richter!
All right, and welcome back to See You at the Party, Richter. For this episode, we'll be going through the summary of Arnold's 2019 vehicle, Terminator Dark Fate. I am Joseph Beccastro, and I am joined by two very happy gentlemen, because this movie takes place in their home country. We have Aaron Frescus.
Hola.
And Christopher Chapman.
Buenas noches.
Hey.
That means good nachos.
Yes. All nachos are good. Well, except when they got black olives on it.
Whatever. You can't even taste the olives.
You can if you fucking hate olives.
Plus, why would you put olives on nachos?
White people do it. Exactly. You go get some nachos, and white people are like, oh, let me put olives on it because we're white. I fucking hate that. White people, I'm looking at you.
Yeah, that probably was white people. There's no way that was anything but who really enjoys olives.
White people.
Yeah.
Yeah. Greeks,
Yeah.
I guess.
Italians. I don't know. They want on their
Yeah.
It's a pizza. Okay. Why are we starting off so racist?
I don't
know.
Even on my birthday.
I was not part of this. Ignorant, but not racist.
Even on my birthday, my mom made enchiladas. She knows I hate olives, and she put them on there anyways. So you
Wow.
can pick them off. I'm like, Mom.
On your
The
birthday, too. Wow.
Yeah.
That's fucked.
And
This
she
is
made
how-
special vegetarian ones for my brother, but couldn't even not put the olives on mine.
She was
Oh
like,
my
this is how I wanted to tell you that I wish that Jeff was an only child.
Yeah. Well, success, Mom.
Yeah. Oh, we don't have a guest today, by the way. It's no one because we're.
Oh,
doing,
yeah. It's just us morons.
Yeah, we're doing a Terminator movie, and if we added an additional person who has their like own opinions on it, on like the franchise and mythology, this episode would have ended up taking like 5 hours.
Yeah.
Yes. So, enough dicking around. Why don't we go ahead and get into the summary? Take it away, Chris.
Oh, fantastic. So, we begin our movie with the surveillance footage of Sarah Connor, the same therapy session that we saw in Terminator 2, where she's talking to the therapist and telling him about her, apocalyptic nightmare. And just to start off, watching Linda Hamilton's performance go from, sobbing to frothing at the mouth makes me have, just a tad more sympathy for that psychiatrist dude. Like, that guy was a dickbag, but also
I love that guy.
Yeah,
Dr.
he's great.
Silberman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah,
hilarious.
he's, I guess he's what?
Dead?
Tied? Well, he's also hilarious. But tied with Linda Hamilton as the
Oh,
second
yeah.
most occurring
'Cause he was in
character.
3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he was.
Hamilton's been in 3. Besides Arnold.
But okay, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's true.
Let's see. Oh, yeah, I don't have anything for that. Okay, go ahead.
All right. Next, we cut to a beautiful black sanded beach as we watch the tide slowly sleep away the... Shit. Am I not going to be able to talk tonight? Fuck.
What did you do? Did you do some
No,
marijuana?
totally sober. Just dumb tonight.
Oh man, Joe, did I tell you about that?
What? Chris was blazing?
Yeah,
do you mind if I tell him that we're
No,
we can
go
keep
ahead.
it in? Okay, cool. So when we recorded that, have you listened to the Justice Fatigue podcast at all?
No, because I still haven't seen the movie.
Okay, cool. That's probably for the best. Like I'm sure I've already said, but
Yeah, but I want to watch the movie so I can listen to the podcast.
well, if you listen to that, the first episode, he kept struggling through it, and I was like, are you okay? I don't know if it was, are you okay? And he's like, shit, like motherfucker, shit. I'm like, what is wrong with you? Are you okay? He's like he didn't want to admit it at first, but he's like, well, I ate an edible. Like,
No, it's not that I didn't want to admit it. I didn't realize what was happening at first.
Did you eat it 2-3 hours ago?
No, I was just stupid. I just so I've done edibles before that, and it was a small amount of edibles. I'm pretty lightweight, but basically it was a new kind of edible, and so I had never tried before. I ate what was presumably too much.
yeah,
And it was 45 minutes or an hour before we recorded.
that's
But
gonna
I just
kick in, right
yeah,
then,
exactly.
though.
I didn't think about it. I was trying to take just a little bit, and I took too much. And I just didn't realize it was happening. And then it just kept getting harder and harder and harder for me to organize my thoughts. And I was like, "What the fuck?" And the reason I don't do weed that often is because I get really angry when I can't control my mental faculties. So I get really pissed off at myself. I get like
fuck, motherfucker. It's like, what is your problem, man? Like, well, are you okay? Because I was drinking. I was having a good time. He's like, oh, I ate this. I'm like, okay, well, it's fine. I can help you through it. And so, like, the first episode, there's a lot of me, like,
interjecting.
It ended up editing together. All right, so like, so it's just like me, like, oh yeah, and then this happens, and you're like, yep, and then he keeps going with it, but like, it's a lot of me helping out.
God, if you heard the raw, it's fucking terrible. It's like, it's so terrible. Yeah, but anyway, so next we cut to a beautiful black sanded beach as we watch the tide slowly sweep away the sand to reveal a human skull. And I just really like this opening shot. Like, not a joke. Like, this opening shot is really, really good to me. It's just like, it's kind of symbolic of like the sort of inevitable tide of time. And it kind of washes away the sand to reveal the skull. And it's like, all this shit is inevitable no matter what we do. And we're always going to fucking blow ourselves up. I don't know. I just think that's a really good opening shot.
Damn, man. You're way better at this than us.
Yeah.
Like, my might be... Go ahead.
You might be better than the filmmakers because I don't know if that was intentional, but
I'm pretty sure that was intentional.
That was not my... Okay, so go ahead.
So then the shot pans over the beach to show us an army of killer robots storming the beach as Sarah Connor's voiceover tells us about the desolate future that she helped to prevent. And then she kind of snaps out of her nightmare. My second note, I have a lot of notes up front. My second note is like, I'm kind of tired of the robots stepping on the skulls thing.
Yeah.
Like, they open, like...
the third time?
At least.
Yeah,
I feel like they open at least half of these movies with that shot, and I'm just kind of over it at this point.
It's called symbolism, bro.
I like how Chris is. I like how Chris has got that like. Well, the tide coming over, whatever means this and this. And my comment is, dude, how much better would Saving Private Ryan have been if it had been Terminators on D-Day instead of like people in the beginning scene? That would have been fucking awesome. Because that's exactly my first thought when I watched this. So I was like, holy shit! Like I wish we knew video editing, or we actually had fans, because I really want someone to insert Tom Hanks, like the character, into this scene, but like not the Tom Hanks character, like the Tom Hanks character from like A League of Their Own. No, not the Saving Private Ryan one.
It's just peeing.
Yeah,
he's just
that's every Tom Hanks character.
Yeah. Drinking and peeing. Yeah, exactly. And then Anyway,
the only other thing I wanted to mention is like, I feel like the CGI in this kind of diminishes how scary the Terminators look.
100%.
I feel like they're moving way too smoothly and they're too shiny. It just doesn't look right with the modern CGI.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I think that's a problem with this entire movie, but
yeah.
You know,
well, okay. So, I'm sorry, I'm watching it right now. Yeah, it is. I didn't notice that until you guys mentioned it.
It's just like so smooth. Like there's no weight to the robots. I don't know. But anyway. Oh, go ahead.
I mean, okay. I can't really argue with it.
The CGI isn't terrible. They look real. I'm not trying to say that the CGI looks bad in like a, fucking the Mummy Returns way. I'm saying no. There's certain aspects of it. Yeah.
But like this would be how they would walk if they had to like once they get covered with skin, they walk normally. So that kind of makes sense.
Kinda,
but I get what you're saying, because the other ones, they're very robotic.
When it's a practical effect, you can actually see all the parts moving, and they've got weight to them. It just, I don't know.
Yeah, and it's actually looks like a robot. Like this is one time where like clunky CGI would be good, because you want it like walking around like fucking RoboCop. You don't
exactly
like sometimes you see, especially in like video games and some other less good like CGI. You see everything looks kind of robotic and stuff. I don't know how to put that. People just like walk funny, but this one they just walk like humans, and it's like, man,
yeah,
they need the funny walking here.
I don't know. I'll defend it, because I would say that's how they're supposed to walk, but then that's not how they walked in the other movies, so that also makes sense. Anyway,
but I have that to say about the CGI, but then on the other hand, in this very next scene, I was like, holy shit, it's 1992 Linda Hamilton.
Okay, yeah, go ahead, because I have a note about that too.
So after she kind of wakes up from her nightmare, we find out it's 1998. It's 1998, but 1992 Linda Hamilton is chilling on a Guatemalan beach with 1992 Edward Furlong. And then suddenly in 1992, Arnold walks up and kills John Connor with a shotgun and goes on his merry way.
Okay, so what do we think of this? The de-aging in this? I thought that it looks good, right?
I think it looks really good. I just think it doesn't make sense to me because what T2 is supposed to take place in 95?
Yes. And it also came out in 91. 1992.
Oh, is it 91?
Yeah.
Okay. But it takes place in 95, right?
Correct.
And so it's been 3 years, and John Connor, who was in the middle of puberty, looks exactly the same.
Okay, exactly. So I've noted about that.
So,
First of all, you said the de-aging looks good, right? Like
I think it looks pretty good.
I don't think no one ever does anyone else ever do it as well as like the Marvel movies do it?
I think they're clearly the top, and then this is probably the best I've seen underneath that.
Yeah,
because the only other one I really remember is Tron Legacy, which is like
that was at the beginning of it.
Not good,
but no, well, like the one for the Mandalorian.
It looks okay. It's not terrible, but it's certainly not as good as Marvel, I don't think.
Yeah, and then I'm curious, like, so wait, did you say what happened to him already?
That he, yeah.
Okay,
so the Arnold Terminator walks up and shoots him with a shotgun and kills him.
Okay, cool. So I'm curious if like the people that were like there were people that were like yes, like when he got shot, because like didn't a bunch of people hate this character when it came, like when T2 came out?
I don't know about when it came out. I've certainly heard people say that like Edward Furlong's portrayal was annoying in that movie.
Yeah,
well, they're wrong.
Well,
exactly.
I like
when
it,
we
I
were
think
kids. So
exactly.
he was the coolest fucking kid in the
Exactly.
world.
That's my note right here. It's like I didn't feel like that, but Edward Furlong, like they were saying like wasn't a good actor, was just kind of like a bratty, but I don't know. He was exactly like Joe said.
He was supposed to be bratty. He
was the coolest. Like when I watched this when I was 8 years old. So like that cool older kid who he rode a dirt bike, he hung out with a cyborg. Kid was living my 8-year-old dream.
Yeah. Listen to Guns N' Roses.
Exactly. Probably still my dream, but still.
And my mom, Todd.
Yeah, I love that line. Also, I wonder if those are those models, those like Terminator models. What is it, A800?
Yeah, those are the T800s, right?
Are those just super cheap to produce? Because like they just keep sending them back. Like the same Schwarzenegger model. Like maybe they just couldn't afford to send it back.
Oh wait, no.
T1000?
He's a T101, right?
T101.
No, he's the Cyberdyne.
It's a model and
model 101, the T800. So
that's what the skin looks like, right?
Got it. So you can have like a Honda Accord, but it could be like the S class or whatever the fuck the naming convention is. I don't know what
we looked this up last time. That's what happened.
Yeah.
So like the 101 is the skeleton.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Right? Yeah. Even though we looked, I'm like 99% sure.
I think so. No, because it's like one of those, when you meet somebody and you're like, oh, I can't remember if their name's like Ann or Anna, and then those two things are stuck in your head, and no matter how many times you meet them, you're always like, fuck, I can never remember if it's Ann or Anna. That's what I feel like.
It's fucking Andrew, asshole.
Yeah.
So no, I'm pretty sure the 101 is the was it the model. There's a model and there's a something else. I don't know. Anyway,
T800.
So they couldn't have just like afford to send another T1000. Like maybe they're expensive to produce.
Maybe.
I mean, with this movie, they're sending a lot of Terminators back in time. Like obviously, they sent this one and the one from T1, at different times in the timeline. So like, yeah.
To be honest, it's probably a good idea to send like different models out there.
So it's just not the same guy.
Yeah. So that way also, if there's a problem with one model, you're not fucked if that's all you sent back.
Well, I can see you don't work in finance because that shit gets expensive.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. That's why I didn't send another T1000. They're like, no, you know how much that cost?
Yeah.
Also, like, I'm pretty sure
like
that
cops don't drive Ferraris, like yeah, they can go fast, but
I'm like pretty sure that Edward Furlong came back to film for this movie. So then, like Chris said, has he not grown any taller than he was when he was 13? Because I don't get what like he would be doing as far as filming. Like, why did he need to come back to film this?
Yeah, I thought you were joking at first. Are you serious?
No, I'm like I'm like 99% sure, like serious, because I think it's in the trivia.
Whoa.
No, I don't think he came back to film it.
No, I'm pretty sure I have a quote from him that said he came back to film like a little part of it.
Yeah, why the fuck would he?
Huh. Because in the credits, it's like the likeness.
Oh, does it say
Edward
that?
Furlong, yeah, and they got some other kid who looks like
the same body type or whatever.
Yeah, like when you see John lying dead on the ground, you're like, that doesn't really look like him. But
sitting there inspecting dead kids on the ground.
Yeah,
that's not John. There goes my boner. Anyway, that's the people that didn't like him, not me.
Also,
okay.
that's totally not Arnold's back when he's walking away.
Also, I'm pretty sure. So also, I like when I was writing this, I was like, oh, I gotta. Holy, like the greatest thought came to mind. Like, how amazing would it have been if he did like come back and film it? If like for this scene they de-aged both Arnold and Linda Hamilton, but then ran out of money, so they couldn't do John. So they just had present day like 45-year-old Edward Furlong play him instead.
Oh my god!
He doesn't even like shave. He just got like that dirtbag style facial hair that only him and Joe can grow. Right. No, like if you keep it that short though, right?
Oh,
because he's got the short one, and I wanted to see what he looked like, so I typed in Edward Furlong 2022 into Google, and don't get me wrong, I love Edward Furlong, like good for him, but he looks like a version of Norman Reedus that the Ghost of Christmas Future would show to a younger Norman Reedus to scare him into flying straight.
yeah.
Did you look it up right now?
Yeah,
he does. He looks. I'm like, holy shit, he looks like Norman Reedus, but like if Norman Reedus like just lost his way.
I haven't looked him up because I don't want to be sad.
So,
all right.
In the Google Edward Furlong 2022, the one that's people also ask is Edward Furlong broken?
What?
What?
Yeah.
Click on it.
It just gives a story about.
Do they maybe mean broke, or do they literally mean like?
Well,
the
answer comes like. He's admitted publicly in court that he's completely broke. But the question is 100% broken. So,
well, I'm sad now. So, from here we cut to Mexico City 22 years later. It suddenly gets very chilly on a freeway overpass as a time portal appears and drops a naked lady to her death. And my only thought on this one was, man, I wish the Terminators were the worst thing we had to deal with in 2020. So we see under the bridge, a young couple getting busy under the soft glow of the time portal, notices the fallen lady and goes to help. And as they're carrying her back to the car, the cops pull up to make everything worse.
They like you said, they picked a shitty spot for her to drop off because that was a good, 100 feet off the ground?
Yeah, also it was literally in the middle of the bridge.
Yeah, but that could make
top
sense.
Of the time portal.
Just because, like, if they're like that bridge isn't there anymore and they constructed the time portal there, then that's where she would appear. But because, or is that how it works? Because didn't they transport from? Okay, Genesis.
Yeah, that's true. There's only one time portal, and I don't think they built it.
They didn't
in the place where they sent them to, right? Or did they?
No, like they used in Terminator 1. They used the same time portal, and they go back in time. At two different places, and in fact, Kyle Reese
they did use the same time portal?
Yeah.
They definitely use the same time portal.
Fuck, man, I don't even remember that.
Yeah, so that means that they purposely put her in the air.
No, because even Reese like fell out of the air into.
Because he falls and hits the ground.
Yeah,
just not. Fucking
but not a mile above the ground. Like,
well, it's just I don't know. It's random. The Earth spins around and like is floating in space and shit. This is not it. Like you don't have like GPS coordinates and shit. You're like, all right, well, let me put them here.
Can you imagine how many resistance fighters they lost because they transported them into space?
I was just thinking, like, she's lucky she's unmodified because that was Kyle Reese. That first movie would have been over in like a half hour after he dies from falling and breaking his neck.
Yeah,
you don't know the elevation of like certain situations. You know, what if you like do it and they just get birth into the middle of a mountain? You know,
yeah,
or just like inside a building, but the building's filled with like rabid dogs, rabid dogs. You know, like you gotta just make some estimates.
Yep.
Except if you're Skynet, because I guess they have detailed files. Because all their Terminators just kind of
detailed files
go in like a perfect place. So humans are dumb.
Definitely. So anyway, the cops show up and just like Small gripe, this scene is way too dark. And this will happen a few times in the movie, and it really bothers me.
I didn't notice that until I was watching it on an iPad. Like, it's fine on the computer, but the computer light goes way up. But on an iPad, it's super dark. And
I kind of get it in this first scene because they're trying to edit around the fact that she's naked. Like, they're trying to not show everything. But like later on, but later on, there will be several other scenes that are in the dark that just are dark for no reason. Anyway, as the officers start to harass the young couple, one of the cops tries to lift up Lady No Pants, who responds by turning him into a human shield before stealing his baton and taking out the rest of his squad in like under 5 seconds, making it very apparent that she is not entirely human. After she beats all those dudes up, she steals the dude's clothes and his car and drives away.
Okay, so quick bit of trivia that I wanted to read because it's pertinent to the scene and I'll forget to mention it later. Mm-hmm. So Sarah mentions that the Skynet sent a bunch of Terminators back to multiple moments. Yeah, she said
there was several Terminators sent back.
To multiple moments before it got taken down. But anyway, one of them killed John. Blah 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 blah. And she started to receive coordinates from Arnold later. Anyway, so one of the coordinates led her to the. Okay, wait, hold on. Okay, so basically, sorry. Like I said, didn't get time to go back. Okay, so basically, according to director Tim Miller, what was left out of the movie is that Sarah also receives coordinates from Grace's arrival. So during that scene,
say that in the movie.
What?
I think they even say that in the movie.
Do they?
But they don't. But they don't. It's not like they show Sarah or anything.
I think she said, she got 2 coordinates.
Yeah, she got 2 text messages about two portals opening up in Mexico City.
Okay. But during that scene, Sarah's truck can be seen almost crashing into Grace's time bubble.
Oh, is that her truck?
So it says that they left it out of the movie, but
okay.
I went back and looked, and I'm pretty sure you can see that red Jeep in there. Like, it almost crashes into that time bubble. So I was like, holy shit. Like, that's something which I read that thing, and then when I was watching this last time, I was like, oh, okay. Interesting.
That is interesting.
Yeah, I mean, fuck it. Might as well bring it up now. Why would she get coordinates for non-Skynet Terminator type things? That's never explained.
Yes, it is.
Is it?
Yeah.
What?
Wait, no.
Carl, we'll get there, but Carl the robot explains that.
What does he say?
He says that he can feel it every time a time portal opens up.
Oh, okay.
That's it. Like, it has nothing to do with Skynet. It's not because he knows when the other Terminators were sent back to. It's literally because he says every time a time portal opens up, it sends like a temporal shockwave through that he can feel. So he knows about all of them before they're going to happen.
So how could she get to all of them in time? He feels them right before they come.
That's true. Got him there. Got him there.
Right before they come.
I usually feel stuff right before I come. So. Sorry, you set that one up nicely.
Yeah, you did.
That was my fault. Gotta watch all my words around you guys.
Sorry, Mom.
All right. Anyway, the next morning we meet Danny, a young woman living with her father and brother in Mexico City. We see her go home and make her dad breakfast and get her brother out of bed so that the two of them can go to work at the local auto plant. After they leave, another time portal opens up in the air above their apartment complex, and out falls yet another naked person. But this time, it's a very polite man who doesn't steal anyone's clothes.
Yeah. Also, the dog that they have a dog, and his name is Taco, and Taco's a good name for a dog. That's my only note for that scene.
Yep.
And I really laughed at this scene because the Terminator shows up, lands on the ground, immediately speaks Spanish to the woman in front of him, and says good morning. And then copies the shirt that she's holding. But I just think it's really funny that Skynet has gotten more progressive and realized that maybe they shouldn't send a giant white dude with a thick Austrian accent down to infiltrate Mexico City.
You gotta know where you're sending.
Yeah,
exactly.
I mean, Skynet was one thing, but this is Legion.
That's true. Legion is much smarter.
It's
Legion's woke, bro.
Yeah. Well, this movie was set in 2022, right? So
2020.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah. It's 22 years after 1998.
Okay.
Okay. Well,
that's why I made that 2020 comment earlier.
Yeah. Well, I thought you were wrong, but
trying to do math in his head real fast.
Yeah. But also, so therefore, Legion came out after 2020. So yeah, they are. Well, they're like, oh, it's more inclusive. You know,
Very true.
It's not just a bunch of white dudes, which I still hold my point true of. Skynet was dumb because they're like, oh, let's make some infiltration units. All right, let's make this guy 6'2", super jacked, and a very thick accent. He'll fit right in.
Yeah.
No one will fucking suspect that guy. You know, it's
Exactly.
like, where are you getting all this like protein and shit, bro? Like, how are you able to just get gigantic and there's nothing suspicious about you at all.
When that Rev 9 falls out of the sky, I was just thinking maybe the future's just 100 feet higher for some reason. I don't know.
It's like Futurama. Everything's just built on top of everything else. So anyway,
I mean, yeah, they wouldn't have we already discussed this, but if it was like a 1-to-1, they wouldn't have like the time machine just on ground level, probably.
Yeah.
Probably in a building.
that's true. Very true. And up on a platform, and it just keeps getting higher and higher.
Yeah.
As Danny and her brother take the bus to work, back at the apartments, the very polite man visits Danny's dad to find her and manages to smile the whole time, even though Danny's dad is kind of rude and the family dog will not shut the fuck up.
Dog's racist as fuck, doesn't like Mexicans.
Yep, exactly. He's just barking all the time.
Well, it's because it's a Terminator.
Yes.
Thank you, Joe.
Thank you.
All right. Well, I didn't know if you guys knew that. Sorry.
No, it's okay.
So
You're
Danny and
all
her
like,
brother-
oh, I don't know the lore, and like, what about this? This is dumb. And then I got to explain it to you, and then you're like,
Which
a
part?
joke about a
That's
dog
true. Most of the
barking.
time you
I'm
are
like,
dumb.
well, you know, that's because that's the thing. You're like,
stuff.
oh, we know, you fucking moron. Get the fuck. Why are you even on this podcast, you idiot? You're stupid and ugly.
I mean,
Like, the ugly part was a little overboard. I mean, I'll agree on the stupid, but the ugly part.
I thought the
that's
stupid part was
unnecessary.
overboard, but okay.
I mean, I can't help that I'm dumb and ugly. Right? I was born this way.
Yeah, that's
It's not
true.
very fucking woke of you guys, is it? You need to
very
learn
true.
some shit from Legion.
We're minorities. We don't need to be woke. Come on.
That's true. Also true.
Oh, that's true. Shit.
Anyway, Danny and her brother arrive at work to find that her brother's job has been automated. So Danny gets pissed and goes to talk to the manager, even though stealing his job is not even close to the worst thing the robots will do to him today.
I like. Do you think? I was gonna say, like, do you think this is all of a sudden? Like, they probably gave him a warning about that, but maybe not. Maybe there's dicks. Like,
No,
well,
yeah,
there's a robot now.
Seems
Sorry.
like the kind of dickish thing a factory would do. Plus,
Yeah.
it's clear they don't like him. Like, it's clear the manager doesn't like him.
Oh yeah, true.
Yeah,
true.
did they install that robotic arm in the middle of the night?
Like, on
is this a
purpose
Monday
to
morning?
be a dick?
Yeah.
just to be a dick.
It's like,
Yeah,
oh shit, he's gone. All right, get in here, guys. And like construction crew works.
What would be
like
better if it was the only automated section in the entire factory floor? And it did a bad job. So, about this time, Danny's dad shows up to their work to bring them their sack lunches, and we also see Lady Stolen Pants sneaking into the plant disguised as a security guard with a very poorly concealed gun.
Mm.
She's got like a jacket hanging over her right shoulder and the gun in her hand, which is a big like shotgun. And it is just, there's fully like half a foot or a foot of it sticking out of the bottom of the jacket. But whatever.
Yep. Well, see, in Terminator 1, Kyle Reese had that same thing, but he sawed off the shotgun and kept it under his trench coat.
What
So,
is this? What does sawing it off do? So you can keep it under your trench coat?
It's
yeah.
bigger spread, right?
Oh, I thought that would be great if we just agreed.
I don't
Yep, yep, it is. So you can keep it under your trench coat.
Sorry.
I have no idea. That's what I was asking, but that makes sense. Bigger spread. What
Yeah.
about? So you can't use a slug with that then?
Well,
You lost me at slug.
Slug with shotguns. It's usually
The
buckshots.
buckshot.
Like little
yeah, but
BBs.
can you not use a slug with it? Or
You
just-
can.
I don't know if they possibly. I don't know. I don't know.
I'm pretty
about
sure you
guns.
can. Neither do I. I'm pretty sure you can. You can just because I'm like.
I've played a lot of video games, and slug is one of the ammo types for shotgun.
Okay.
All right, so now we see Danny arguing with the manager over her brother's job and the jobs of potentially everyone on the factory floor. And I think the scene is just there to show that she's kind of like a leader and willing to fight for what she believes in.
Yeah, I
And,
guess.
yeah.
I like this movie, and they do a pretty decent job with all the characters except for hers, in my opinion. But I'll get
Yeah.
to that later.
Yeah, this is basically the only time in the movie they actually show any sort of leadership things from her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I
Yes.
guess
No, like, but then like all of a sudden it's crammed into like one scene, and it's
Exactly. That
But yeah.
scene really bothers me.
there's
But anyway.
no anyway.
So, Danny's dad finds her brother as Danny is walking back from the meeting. And as soon as he sees her, the sack lunch turns into a gun, which he points at Danny.
And then he forgets that he can do it for the rest of the movie.
Yep. That's true.
That he can turn his hands into guns.
Very true. He prefers the blade.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of somebody that's like, but when it's the feel of the steel, I don't know. I'm sure it's from something. Anyway.
I don't know.
See, I thought maybe he had the gun.
No, because I even asked Erica,
turns into the gun.
She's like, "What are you talking about?" Like she was like, Erica was like, "All right, what are you talking about? His hand, he fucking turned his hand into a gun. Why doesn't he keep using it?" I'm like, "No, he didn't." So we went back and looked at it, and I was like, "Oh yeah, he kind of does." All right,
he definitely does.
Fair enough.
Before he can shoot, though, Lady Stolen Valor blasts him with a shotgun about 10 times, revealing that he's actually a Terminator. Danny and her brother freak out as they are dragged to safety by Lady No Chill.
She also says the classic Terminator line, "Come with me or you're dead in 30 seconds."
Yes. Yeah. Earlier, she also said something along the lines of, like, when she needs a clothes from, she says that classic Terminator line, "Don't thank me yet."
Is that a Terminator line?
No. She's supposed to say, "Your clothes, give them to me."
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I was waiting for that too. Yeah, they keep like.
I don't know, man. I think they're cute enough with all the callbacks. I don't think we need like more.
No, that's fine. But like, I just like to think that the writer that added that line argued with like the rest of the writers, just like super adamant that was the original line in the movie. Like, no, I'm pretty sure it's "Come with me, you're dead in the next 30 seconds."
Yeah, and James Cameron's over there like, dude, I fucking wrote and directed that movie, bro. I know what it says. No, fuck you.
Yeah,
no
like,
shit, all right?
Just arguing with them, like, "Come with me if you want to live." He's like, I don't know.
I've read all the extended universe wikis, so I think I would know a thing or two.
He's like, "I haven't seen the movie in 15 years, but I'm pretty sure he says come with me in the next 30 seconds. It was either that or come with me if you want some ribs. But then if we do that, we got to put Danny and her brother working at a Chili's, and you don't want that."
Nobody wants to work at a Chili's.
Yeah, exactly.
So now the very polite Terminator gets up and chases them down, forcing Lady Hammerly to show him how she got the name Lady Hammerly.
She hits him with the hammer.
Yeah, she gets a sledgehammer. I really like these fights. Like the fights,
yes,
at the beginning of the movie at least, are pretty sweet. Especially the sledgehammer move where she's pounding his head in like multiple times, and then the last time his liquid metal shit like grabs the hammer and pulls himself back up with it.
Yeah,
I thought that shit was cool.
Yeah, except for instead of just robo blade arming her, he just pushes her to the side and then walks away. It's like, dude, just fucking, she's right there. Just fucking robo blade her, bro. Real quick. It's the same fucking movement. And then, go after your target. I know, but like, your life would have been a lot easier if you would have just fucking like stabbed her right there, called it a day. Boom, you're done. Why you gotta like make this whole thing about it?
If there's one thing Terminators are about, it's laziness.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Chris said, like one very big plus for this movie is that the action scenes are pretty damn good. And is that like a mixture of Cameron and Tim Miller, maybe?
I think it's Tim Miller, because if you go back and watch the first Deadpool, the action scenes are very similar.
Okay.
And he is a visual effects guy, and so I think he's pretty damn good and better than a lot of modern action directors at knowing how to use CG in a way that's going to make it look a little more realistic and how to mix it with the practical stuff.
So I'm assuming that's why Cameron probably was kind of chosen, basically.
Yeah, I would think so. And also Deadpool was a huge hit. So the fight ends when the Terminator is eventually pinned down and Danny's brother drops a huge engine on top of him, and we find out Lady Hammerly's name is actually Grace. Grace warns that the robots still ain't dead, and they go escape in a car.
Oh man, I just realized I didn't make any Grace and her fire jokes. God damn it.
That's an entire podcast of wasted opportunities. God.
All right, so thank you for listening to the show. We are going to stop this recording. We're going to go back and re-record everything. So
exactly. We're going to start over.
I don't know how you're listening to this, but whatever.
Oh man, Brett Butler would have loved that. I don't know when she's firing something. Anyway.
Yeah.
I'll get it in there somewhere.
Royals.
Yeah.
And a different Brett Butler. I don't know. We got a lot of stuff to work with, but we haven't.
I mean, clearly this is a deep well, but
we haven't hammered out the details unlike Grace did when she was under fire from the Terminator.
Oh.
Shit.
So as Grace explains who she is and why she's there, the Terminator busts through the wall of the plant in a huge bulldozer to chase them onto the highway.
So before that, you see the the Rev 9 chasing them, right? Just through the factory.
Like,
so
absolutely. They chase them through the factory. That's all before the hammer stuff.
And I love how they always have all the running Terminators do a very specific run with their hands like completely flat because Robert Patrick did that during T2. Yeah. It makes me curious if that's how Robert Patrick actually runs, or if he like started running and then James Cameron was like, whoa, Robert, what the fuck are you doing? A Terminator would not run like a regular person. He would run with his hands flat. Do it again. Like treats him like he's stupid, even though he didn't tell him how to do it. He's like, why would you think that a robot would run like that? Look at this guy. And then like makes the rest of the crew laugh at him because that seems like something that James Cameron would do. I don't know.
See, there's another good way to filter out Terminators. All right, we're doing wind sprints, and somebody's just like hands flat, like, all right, Terminator, get him.
I would like you to casually jog, please. Oh fuck!
So, I'm sorry, real quick. This scene is funny to me, and there's probably a better joke in there somewhere. But so, this movie's set in 2020. Legion comes in the future. It's built by nerds and millennials and Zoomers, whatever the fuck you're called. But somehow they were able to like program in how to drive a clutch. Because he's definitely driving a clutch with his bulldozer, and I just don't think that's possible.
Oh shit, you got a guy joke in there. All right.
Well, no, it's more of it's boomer humor shit.
That's like a fucking union joke. There's no fucking way that this guy knows how to drive a clutch. Am I right, guys? Yeah. No fucking way.
I mean, do you know how to drive a clutch?
Yes. Yeah. Oh, yeah, he does.
I know you do because you
taught me. Manual?
Yeah, he does.
Like not a truck, like not a fucking.
No, yeah, he does.
A real truck, but I know how to drive a manual. Yeah, I know how to drive a stick shift.
Okay. Damn, we could have made fun of him, like some. Oh, but like in an Italian accent. Hey. Apparently, this whole episode's just gonna be racist.
Racist as fuck.
Okay, go ahead.
So, let's see. Oh, so they're getting chased down the highway. Eventually, Grace has to get out of the cab to try to stop the Terminator, which she does by pinning him to his seat with some of Zeus's lightning bolts. However, it's revealed that this Terminator is actually a 2-for-1, as the liquid metal skin separates from the metal skeleton to go fight Grace.
They're driving. So they're Grace and Danny and her brother are driving in
Diego.
Yes, Diego. Sorry, are driving in an F-150, and I'm pretty sure that they could like. Are those big ass tractor trucks that he's driving? I feel like those are super slow, but whatever. It's a movie. It's just being nitpicky.
They don't have good acceleration, but usually things with big engines like that can't they like build up a decent amount of speed?
Yeah, I guess.
Probably.
I don't know.
And that truck was kind of a beater.
I wrote that note, and then I saw that they got cut off by like a bus that was pulling out.
Oh yeah,
because that's when it catches up to them. Like that's when Anyway, but
yeah, they have to make a sudden turn.
Yeah.
So I was just gonna say like a couple things here, which is that the car chase scene makes it apparent that Tim Miller knows how to put together an action sequence. Definitely better than probably the last couple Terminator directors.
Yes. This definitely has like a Cameron feel to it.
Yeah. The car crashes feel a little more real. I also think that they made a distinctive choice when they made the Liquid Terminator matte black instead of the shiny chrome.
Why is that?
Because everything nowadays in CGI looks way too shiny.
Okay.
And I think they recognize that. And so, I mean, I don't know for a fact. I don't know why they did it, but I do think that the matte black, like liquid ooze stuff looks way better than anything chrome would have.
Yeah, but the best color combination is silver and black, so I can see why they want to do that with the Terminator.
Very true. And then the other thing is, the splitting into two thing is a really solid concept.
Yes.
That I really wish had not been spoiled in the trailer.
Oh, did it? I don't even. Well,
oh yeah,
I don't
that
even
was like
the trailer.
The first major trailer that came out, and it was in like every trailer. They showed that scene where he separates for the first time.
The worst with the Terminator trailers.
Yeah, I really wish they hadn't spoiled that because that would have been the coolest fucking thing to see for the first time.
Yeah,
but yeah,
I didn't notice that in the trailer. Like I would definitely say this is probably the coolest Terminator they've made so far. And
yeah, I think
if this wasn't Cameron's idea, I'm curious whose idea that was to like have them split.
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's the best concept for a new kind of Terminator.
Yeah,
They
for
haven't
sure.
been able to come up with anything since T2,
Yeah.
really.
Which it's weird because this is basically what they had in Terminator 3, but they didn't think to pull it apart.
Yeah, exactly.
Because that's pretty much what she is, isn't it? She's like...
Yeah, she has both, I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure. She can shapeshift and she's got a skeleton.
Yeah.
But yeah. The Liquid Terminator then throws one of the lightning bolts back at Danny, but Grace deflects it and it goes somewhere else. Probably doesn't matter where. As Grace fights off the Terminator, he takes out one of their rear tires, causing then the other tire to go eventually and the car to crash. At this point, Danny finds that lost lightning bolt, but unfortunately it is inside her brother's vital organs.
I was really hoping that Danny would be like, Grace, help me, it's Diego. And then Grace would run over and be like, Diego, it looks more like a rod to me. I'm sorry.
See, I thought she would be like, Diego, no! That's why I wanted you to mention his name.
I'm glad you guys mentioned his name, because my only joke was that I refused to mention his name because he dies so fast. I kept calling him Danny's brother.
That's what I had until that scene. And I was like, oh, definitely Rod.
So anyway, as the Skelenator frees itself from the wreckage of the truck, the Liquid Terminator steals another car and drives at full speed at Danny, forcing Grace to pull her out and basically sacrifice her brother in a fiery explosion.
Okay, real quick. Sorry. So is that skull, like that, sorry, skeleton thing, is that exoskeleton?
That's an endoskeleton because it's inside.
That's what I thought, but then I was like, the exoskeleton, that's mentioned in a shitload of stuff, and I was like, exo, I'm pretty sure it's an exo because that's outside, but then I was like, okay, just so I don't sound stupid later.
Got it.
Although I asked, I'm going to leave that all in just so I make sure everybody knows that I am stupid.
So that it's pointless.
Yeah.
Well, after he dies, would he be DA Ghost? What? Yeah? All right, that one, I just came up with that one. Yeah, write that one down.
Shit. Getting those improv skills down.
So Grace and Danny start to run, but they get cornered by the two Terminators who are now on like both sides of them. Grace prepares to go down fighting and tells Danny to run when they start to kill her, when suddenly Skeletor gets slammed by a car and out pops Sarah Connor to embarrass the Terminators.
Sarah Connor? Yeah, this scene, we talk about this a lot. It's the old Austin Powers thing. Like, our Scott Powers. They got her surrounded. They're just like standing there like, oh, like, we're about to kill ya. Be ready. Just fucking charge her. Just fucking go straight at her and then kill her. And then
they
call
even
it a day.
throw some more rebar at her first, and give her a weapon.
Yeah, just fucking do your mission, bro.
The Terminators are kind of cocky. They're like, oh, maybe they just like to enjoy it. I'm like, okay, I'm enjoy this. Yeah, it's like when you're like get like a burger you haven't had in a while. You're like, oh man, this is gonna be good. Like, yeah.
I mean, to be fair, I'm not just calling out this movie because there's a scene in Terminator 1 where there's a car chase and the cops are chasing them and they crash and the Terminator crashes and the Terminator disappears because like cops are there or whatever. That scene never really makes sense. So it is near flawless movie. So it's not just this movie. But also with the throwing people, which just happens a lot. I don't know why. They're just standing there looking at her and there's a little speech later. Just fucking kill her, dude. Come on, bro. You got people are like, oh, you had one job. Like when somebody didn't like stock napkins at a fucking McDonald's. Like I'm sure the person who's responsible for stocking napkins has a lot more than one job. But literally this Terminator, you have one job.
Do we know that for sure though?
Oh, that's true. Shit.
That's very true.
I got nothing. I was trying to think of something.
You got me on that one.
I was thinking like maybe he was thinking about like he's like, shit, I gotta stock those napkins too. So
yeah. Checkmate me.
Yeah.
It's like, I gotta come back to this factory tomorrow and take somebody else's job. So.
Yeah. Factory's not gonna run itself.
That'd be great if instead of Arnold Schwarzenegger shows up, instead of him showing up later, we see him on the line like doing Danny's job or doing Danny's brother's job for him.
Yeah. Anyway, So Sarah gets out of the car. She blasts the liquid Terminator with like an automatic shotgun until he falls off the overpass, and then she hits the skeleton Terminator with like a rocket launcher and blows it the hell back. She goes down to make sure that the liquid Terminator is dead. And I like the line here, which is she gives the "I'll be back," but she gives it with a different cadence, and I just really like the delivery.
So I forgot to show a clip to you guys during the promo stuff because, like I said, there was a shitload of stuff, and I found it, and then I didn't remember it until I watched this scene. But apparently, Linda Hamilton had a hard time with the "I'll be back" line. And I have a 1 minute clip if you guys want to watch it real fast.
Sure.
For explaining it. Okay, cool.
What was it like to hear her say, "I'll be back"?
I think it was great. She did a great job. I wasn't there when she did it, but I saw it in a movie, and I was amazed that someone could say it in a different way, the way I say it. Mm-hmm. And then I found out that she actually worked on it to make sure that she could say it in a different way, right?
You can't say it without sounding like him. I would, it's at the end of a very intense action scene, and it's weapons, and it's triple digit heat, and you're just giving it everything. And then every time I would finish with that line, I would look at Tim, and he would go, "Sounds like Arnold."
It's tough. It's
Do
iconic.
it again, and drop the grenade, and turn around and say it, and I would go, and he would go.
So did you decide to just say, "I'm just gonna say it"? I'm just gonna...
Tim guided me through it because it really was almost impossible to say it after 3 decades of hearing it in your head with his voice.
Okay, so yeah.
Damn.
Which makes sense, just because every single time I'm like, I'll be back? Like,
Yeah,
and then
absolutely. Yeah. I'm glad they worked on it because honestly, like, that was a really good delivery.
Yeah, that was a good delivery.
Like, a lot of that cutesy throwback shit I don't really like in this movie, but that one in particular, I was like, that was good.
Point it out when you don't like it.
It was different enough, and okay, gotcha.
Just because, I'm curious which ones. Anyway, okay. But yes, that one was good.
Yeah. So, like I said, as Sarah is going down, like, off the freeway to make sure that the liquid Terminator is dead, she has to turn around when Grace forces Danny to steal her car, and they drive away. And we just get a son of a bitch out of her.
Once again, Sarah, finish your fucking job. You've been sitting there hunting Terminators for the past, 25 years? You almost got one dead. Just go fucking kill it. Call it a day. You know how to... I mean, my initial thought was like, oh, she wants to go find her car, like her car's like special or whatever. But then she finds him by tracking his cell phone. Yeah. Just go fucking finish the fucking Terminator. Like, yeah, this movie would have been like 25 minutes long, but like, do your fucking job.
How would she have killed that? Because that was like the T-1000 part, though. I'm curious, like, what she was going to do with that, because that's a good point.
I am curious what she was going to do.
I don't know.
Like fucking thermite or something? Yeah, I don't know.
But she's been killing them for, those might have been Skynet Terminators.
I mean, she went down there with the confidence that she was definitely going to kill him.
Yes.
True.
So just fucking finish it up. God.
Yeah. Joe just sounds like corporate America right now. Why don't you just do your job? Like, maybe stop complaining, just do your fucking job.
It's starting to sound like my dad. Jesus.
So, as Grace and Danny are driving away, Grace tries to find some water and medicine in the car as she explains that Danny's foster parents are dead. We see the Terminators reintegrate and continue their pursuit.
Wait, real quick. She also says that it needs physical contact to copy people and that they don't survive.
Yeah.
And I was trying to think of an instance of any other movies where it copies a person and then I remembered it copies Sarah. So I think she's just saying, like, usually either Grace is probably just being a dick, kind of just like, you can't go home because your dad's probably dead, and I'm not going to take the chance of you going back there.
Don't they say that in another movie, though? That it needs physical contact?
Yes, I think they established that in Terminator 2. I think, but I'm not positive.
Yeah. I don't think so.
No?
I don't remember.
Well, let's see. He copies...
Tad.
No. Janelle. The dude in the mental institution, but he steps on him when he's like liquid form down there.
Yeah.
Let's see, he morphs into the helicopter but doesn't take that guy's shape.
He gets Sarah and he stabs her through the
he does stab her through the shoulder.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah, and he's like, call to John. So, yeah, I guess they don't explicitly say that, but sorry, I'm just going through the whole movie in my head right
The
now.
movie's gonna take so fucking long.
Why he never? Well, he did like fist fight with Arnold at some point. So why he didn't double as Arnold?
Maybe he's just not good at accents.
He's like me, like, come on, do it now. Like, dude, that's not you. That's not.
He's like, hello, John, I am over here. And you're like, whoa.
I know now where you cry.
Why do you come on over here? Like he's doing like a French accent. Like, I don't know, why are you French all of a sudden? Like, like does he not like?
Hey,
damn.
over here, Kendall. Like, what? That's
Arnold's like, where do you think I am from?
just because I have an accent doesn't mean it's like any accent.
I'm knowing that why you cry.
Mamma mia.
Wow. Okay, keep going.
Sorry, Italians. If you're listening, first of all, thank you. Second of all, I'm sorry.
Third of all, you talk funny.
Yeah,
Anyway,
talk less funny.
Go.
so Grace crashes. Oh, sorry. So Grace and Danny are driving. She crashes from the Terminator fight. So the pair stops to rob a pharmacy for the medicine she needs, basically, despite Danny's protests. She tells Danny that she was built to... Or wait, does she say this later?
The scene was why you looked that up. Like that scene was very relatable to me when Grace crashes because the exact same thing happened to me after some Adderall wore off. I was like, because she's like, stuff's wearing off, and then she crashed. But then like the scene where they get out of the car because like before they go into the pharmacy, Grace is having trouble walking, and Danny gets out of the car.
Yeah.
And that scene is basically me when I was 25 years old. Like Grace yells like, come back, I have to protect you. And Danny's like, you can't even walk, I'm going to the police. And that exchange was the 25-year-old Danny leaving a bar at 2 a.m. after like annoying a girl I was talking to because I had too many laser beam shots, you know?
Get laser beams.
Joe remembers those, right?
What is a laser beam?
Laser
Joe
beam.
remembers those. I
don't know, but they
cannot
were
remember
bad.
what was in those. Because I even looked up the recipe online and it's not the same because I know it had creme de menthe in it, but I don't remember what else was in there.
Yeah,
but like
it tasted like scope.
it does so it wasn't that bad as far as a shot.
Yeah, she's also like, if you put you and 100 cops and him, you'll have 100 dead cops. If I'm like,
I mean, yeah. But anyway, I'm pretty sure she explains it here. It's that basically she's been augmented in a way that she's tuned up to fight a Terminator for like a few minutes, because if you don't beat a Terminator in a few minutes, you're basically probably dead. So that's why she's crashing so hard, is that her body basically completely drains itself of energy fighting like that.
I mean, I'm the same way when I run. If I don't stop running within like 60 seconds, I'm like pretty much like that. So,
and I will also rob a pharmacy at the end.
Exactly, like the way they break into this pharmacy, like they run in there and she starts like chugging water and like just like crashing shit. And do you think that like there's like an older like Mexican couple that's already there? Do you think they were like fucking pinche white people? Like when she just exactly
Guaranteed.
like first time in Mexico, huh? Fucking hey.
and every time I went to a pharmacy in Mexico, like they didn't ask for a doctor prescription.
Yeah, that was definitely my first thought when I watched this. I didn't write it down, but I told Erica that. I was like, what the fuck? Bullshit. And like, not the fact that she's augmented or there's a Terminator chasing him, the fact that they can't buy drugs in Mexico without a prescription. Maybe it changed.
Maybe.
Who knows?
Yeah.
This movie was set in the future.
Yeah.
So I was just, they break into the pharmacy. She tries to get the prescription drugs. The dude won't give it to her without a prescription, like you just said. So she just basically pulls out the gun and takes the medicine that she needs. As she's leaving, she basically passes out. Danny has to grab the gun and drag her out of the pharmacy. As she's dragged out, they find Sarah waiting for them with a brand new car.
They also find a pharmacy assistant that's just thirsty as fuck. I'll help you. Come on, I'll help you. I'm like, of course you will, dude. You got two fucking pretty girls.
Oh yeah, I'm surprised I haven't made a comment at how hot Danny is yet. I figured that's all I would be talking about.
But all this other shit keeps pissing me off.
Yeah. But Sarah totally rolls up in a wood panel station wagon, which is very much like the one they drove in Terminator 2.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Does look like it.
Okay. All right.
So they get into the car and head to a motel, and on the way, Sarah throws away Danny's phone. I thought that was very funny. She's like, hey, do you have a phone? She gets nice for a second, which I think should have thrown Danny out. I don't know. She was very aggressive before that, and she's like, hey, do you have a phone? Do you think maybe I could see it? And she fucking chucks it out the window. And she is full-blown, like, tinfoil hat at this point. She is, like, all in on every conspiracy. I know she was before.
Yeah,
but, like,
she's pretty much what we saw her in the ride. Like when before John's like, dude,
on the Terminator ride. Yeah, she's like, at the motel, Sarah gives Grace an ice bath and some of the medication as they wait for her to recover. She kind of is explaining all her conspiracy shit and why she keeps her cell phone in a potato chip bag. And I like this line too, because Danny is looking at the potato chip bags and she goes, yeah, but why 10 bags? And then Sarah's just like, because I really like potato chips.
Oh, she said 10?
Yeah, there's 10 bags.
I thought she said 10.
Oh, no. She said, but why 10 bags?
Yeah.
As in, do you have 10 cell phones? And then she's like, no, I just really like potato chips.
Yeah.
That makes entirely way more sense. I was like, she just said aluminum bags. Like, there's tin foil and aluminum foil. Like, what? I'm so fucking confused. Okay. All right.
So do you guys know if that works? Anybody off the top of their head before I tell
no
you if
clue.
it does or doesn't? Okay.
No clue.
So I looked it up. TrackingSystemDirect.com and a bunch of other things said aluminum foil is a good conductor of electricity that induces a phenomenon known as Faraday cage, which I think is a lost thing. I don't know. Oh,
well, that's where they
is
got
that
it
something?
from.
Is that something really?
It's a thing I've heard of before, but yes,
Yeah.
I also get the lost joke.
Well, that's, yeah. Are you serious? Or
Yes, I'm reading. Like, what's a Faraday cage?
It's basically like something you can put something in and no kind of signal stuff can go out. It's like if you put a cell phone in a Faraday cage, like it would not be able to get any signal or anything like radio waves or any of that other shit in there.
And there's like holes in it, right? Like it's not like a completely enclosed thing. It just is the material, right?
Plus it like mumbles a lot. It's like,
Yeah.
Well, it's a last joke for you guys.
Damn it.
Lost was pretty heavy-handed on the naming convention.
Yes, for sure.
Christian Shepherd, like Locke,
Yeah, John Locke, Rousseau,
Rousseau,
all the philosophers.
Faraday, they weren't exactly whatever the opposite of ham-fisted is.
Subtle.
Chicken-fisted?
I was gonna say ham-held.
Chicken open palm?
Anyway,
Okay,
so
sorry.
does it work?
So it disrupts the reception from the GPS signal to and from a GPS device. So when aluminum foil is wrapped around a cell phone, it creates a barrier and prevents the radio waves from reaching the cell phone. Like all metals, aluminum possesses the quality of attenuation effectiveness. This gives the aluminum foil the ability to absorb electromagnetic waves, such as radio signals of a GPS. So yes-ish, even though Arnold pretty much says later, is like, no, that didn't fucking work.
No, I think what he says is like, if you want to keep your phone in a potato chip bag, keep it in a potato chip
Okay,
bag.
yeah,
As in,
okay. Like,
as in every time she pulls it out,
I
he
can
can
track
trace it.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
As Grace reboots, basically, we get a future flashback showing the time that she almost died protecting her commander from some Terminators, and subsequently volunteered to become a super soldier.
So
basically,
the dude orders Grace to get
the commander inside.
Was that Danny?
I'm pretty sure it was Danny.
Like, 'cause
they were
it showed her-
obscuring her face so
Yeah,
much
yeah.
that I think it had to be Danny,
Exactly,
because for some reason this movie is obsessed with not telling us who that Danny is the commander in the future.
Yeah. They did.
That I hate.
Yeah. So they definitely covered up her face, except for you could tell it was, I'm pretty sure it was a female, but yeah.
Yeah, you can kind of tell, but
Yeah. And this movie takes a lot from my favorite video game, Fallout New Vegas. You got the cybernetic implants, you got Legion, and, well, I guess that's pretty much it. So maybe it doesn't. That's like deserty. Got that too.
yeah.
All right.
They
Yeah,
talk
so
about
there's
nukes
3
sometimes.
of them. Oh, yeah, there you go.
There you go. There's guns. I don't know. Anyway.
Yeah, hey.
There's human beings.
So Grace wakes up to Sarah questioning her while holding a gun in her face, but pretty easily flips it around on her because she's, a robot super soldier. So Grace and Sarah Oh, sorry. I forgot to mention that Sarah had locked Danny out of the room so that she could question Grace. Grace goes and lets Danny in. And then Grace and Sarah basically swap backstories. We find out that there were actually several Terminators sent to kill John, including the one that did kill him in Guatemala. And that basically Sarah has spent her, at least the last few years, hunting Terminators.
She says, Sarah says that the Terminators carried out orders from the future that never happened. So, quick question. So, okay, so I know this is basically a dumb question because it's impossible to answer, but it's a time travel question. So, this universe basically has the same approach to like time travel stuff as like Lost, right? Like basically like a whatever happened sort of thing. So, like, I think the Marvel movies might take the same approach to where it's like you can't change anything that already happened, like something so it would just split into its own thing.
Exactly. It kind of splits off into a new universe, basically. Okay. It seems like.
Okay,
cool. I don't know for sure, but...
I'm only asking that because at first I was like, well, why didn't the Terminators just like shut down or pull a Marty McFly and disappear, you know? But like, I think that only is that exclusive to Back to the Future? That it might be like one or two more things that do that, maybe?
Yeah, I think there's other things that do it, but that is definitely
Looper
in recent years that has become...
Reaper does?
Oh, yeah, Looper.
Oh, Looper. Oh, wait.
Yeah, Looper definitely
the movie?
does that. Yeah, the Bruce Willis movie.
Oh, Looper. Okay. I was thinking of okay, anyway. Okay.
Yeah, but yes, that's correct.
So when you saw that, were you like, fucking biting from Back to the Future?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was just mad he didn't play Johnny B. Good.
Here's my fucking guitar solo, bro.
That's how Joseph Gordon-Levitt beats Bruce Willis.
I can just shred him in guitar. Fingers are too slow now, old man.
Okay, so also she said something right here about drinking until she blacks out, right?
Yeah. Good for her.
Yeah, she says, I hunt Terminators and I drink. I drink until I pass out or black out.
She says she hunts Okay, never mind. She said, I didn't know she did. Okay, I was going to say I do the same thing, but for some reason I thought she said she was like, I drink till I black out and then cry while explaining to the dog how good of a boy he is. That's my mistake. Sorry. I was like, I do the same thing, but I was also coming out of the bathroom when Erica was watching that part, so.
Yeah, me too. But if you replace Terminators with my junk and hunt with touch, then we're the same.
And then blackout? Do you feel bad about it? So you're like, drink.
No, I touch my junk and then I drink till I black out. So yeah.
Yeah, because you feel bad about it. You're like,
shame.
Yeah, exactly.
So Sarah demands to go with Grace and Danny, correctly pointing out that Grace's lack of knowledge about the present is a pretty big weakness. Because basically she's like, you don't realize that cell phones basically make you super trackable, that there's fucking surveillance cameras everywhere. So like,
yeah,
you're not going to last very long.
But also like throughout this movie, which I didn't notice till this last time that I watched it, Grace gives up, like, not gives up, but like it's pretty quick a few times where she's like, we're about to die. You should probably run and I'll hold them off as long as you can. Because it happens at least a few times in this movie. You should probably run, and I don't know. So she's very about get the fuck away from him. Don't fight.
Yeah, she absolutely. Well, she says it pretty early in the movie. That's again when she's explaining it. If you don't beat the Terminator in the first few minutes, you're not going to beat it. So it's like if it's not done immediately, she probably thinks that this mission is basically botched and that she has to just hide Danny.
Yeah, but wait, the first few minutes as far as what? Like
the first few minutes of the fight.
So, well, she recharges though, does she not? Is she out of like superpowers?
She does, but she's not out of superpowers, but she obviously has to keep taking that medicine just to be able to keep fighting.
Oh, okay.
Like she's kind of out of it for the rest of the movie. Like not completely out of it.
Maybe she like, okay, that makes more sense. Like she's on the medication, or she's like, no, man, I don't want to do that stuff no more. Like the medication, she's like, oh, I'm clean now. I'm clean. And, that's...
Okay, so something I just... something I just thought of is they tattooed the coordinates on her.
Yes.
But why didn't they tattoo what drugs she needed and how much?
That's true, like a Metal Alert bracelet or something.
Exactly. I mean, yeah. I mean, you can't take the bracelet with you because, the time travel
Sure, but
things,
you could tattoo that shit on.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, why isn't she all mementoed out? This is horseshit.
You guys are asking the wrong questions. Why don't they just tattoo Metal Alert stuff onto old people now? Like,
why don't they? Shit. Well, I mean, they also don't have to travel through time. But...
No, but in case they like lose their bracelet or the bracelet falls off, you're like, oh wait, let's look at their never mind. Okay, this is gonna get dark. Let's keep going.
Instead of thug life, it just says diabetes on there.
Across their chest, or sorry, across their stomach.
You get a neck tattoo.
Just, in Old English or cursive or something. Gout.
Do not resuscitate.
So this is donor on the other side.
All right, so they get back in the car. While they're on the road, Sarah reveals that she has been receiving anonymous text messages alerting her every time a Terminator is going to show up, and then she goes and kills them. So Grace hacks her phone and locates the anonymous snitch, only to find that the location matches the coordinates that were given to her by her commander as an emergency contact. The what Aaron just mentioned that they tattooed on her before she time traveled. The coordinates are in Laredo, Texas, so they will have to cross the border to get there. And then Danny mentions that she knows somebody who can help them. She's going to take them to her uncle, who should be able to sneak them across the border into Texas.
Coyote.
So the three of them decide to ditch the car. They hop onto a train headed north with a bunch of other migrants. At this point, we cut to some sort of data processing center where the Terminator has murdered a bunch of cops and is accessing every camera in the country until he sees Danny at the train stop, and then sees that the tracks end up in Laredo. And this part confuses me.
Why?
Yeah.
Because I don't understand how the Terminator knows they're going to Laredo.
Because that's where the tracks end up, man.
The tracks end in Texas?
I don't know.
In Laredo, Texas? That's what I'm saying, is like train tracks go through places.
Maybe it just goes there and back, just for plot.
Maybe. But then also, they're on the train for a little bit, but then they get off to go to her uncle's house, and then he then takes them to a third location where they actually cross the border.
Well, I think
again, I don't understand how he would know they were going to Laredo.
He's probably just waiting at the border at this point.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, no, that is a very good.
I just
Point,
like the
Chris,
computer
like-
really focuses in on Laredo, Texas, and I'm like, you don't know where they're going. Like, you know they're on that train, great, go be on the train tracks, but like,
Yeah.
you don't know they're going to Laredo, Texas.
Exactly. You could have added a thing where, like, the train conductors, like, up there in the front, like, boop, boop, next stop, Laredo, Texas.
Then he holds up a sign that says Laredo, Texas.
Yeah, but they all got to get kicked off. Like, you're not allowed on here, just cargo. And everybody hops off. Boom. Problem solved. Plot
There
hole
you go.
closed.
Or like or like Danny, or like the girls are like holding up a sign like hitchhikers do in old movies that says Laredo, Texas, just to see like, who will pick them up.
Exactly.
So that night on the train, Danny wants to hear about how the world ends, so Grace tells her about the nuclear apocalypse, endless war, countless human deaths, that old chestnut.
Judgment Day.
Yeah. Movie is still too dark. This is another
Yeah,
scene that
that-
they put in the dark,
like-
and I can't see shit.
I watched it today during the day, and I closed the blinds, and I literally could not see anything. In
No,
this.
Yeah,
I'm
it
watching it
was-
right now, and it's it is very dark. And the stupid thing is that I'm 99% sure this was shot during the day. It could be, but just because of how dark it is,
Mhm.
I don't know. Just whoever was darkening their scenes.
That's why it was
Exactly,
called
that's-
Dark Fate. So
Oh, okay.
That makes a lot of sense. You know
Okay.
what? Complaint with tracking.
Yes.
yeah.
Wait.
Okay, so something they never mentioned in this movie.
Mhm.
Why did Legion want to kill humans? Like,
No
they're
clue.
very specific in Terminator.
Mm-hmm.
They're very specific in Age of Ultron, which is just basically
In
took
what?
the Age of Ultron.
Yeah. James Spader's just a dick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they don't mention, like, literally would have took one line, like, they saw humans as a threat. Boom, done.
Yeah.
It's just like they uploaded AI to the data center, and now all humans are dying or something.
Yeah, they just decided, like, Legion just decided that all humanity had to die. No real reason.
I think we were
Just-
supposed to assume that it was the same reason, right? As Skynet.
It's like four
Sure.
words you can throw in there.
Yeah,
Like,
but
that's
we were
all you
supposed.
need.
True.
We could also assume a bunch of other stuff about the Terminators and all that shit that we already know from the other movies. But
True.
But that, I don't know.
And also why Grace just doesn't tell Danny. I know they mention it later, like, you told me the Danny of the past wouldn't
Yeah.
understand it. But I
Yeah,
don't know,
fuck
it,
that.
It was just
That
such,
bothers
like,
the shit out of me.
Yeah, and it was just such a shittily set up thing. I don't know.
Exactly. So that's my note here, is that the movie continues to use Sarah to try and convince you that Danny's child will be the leader of the resistance, despite it being painfully clear what they're setting up. Like it's just really pointless to me to try and hide that Danny is the new John. I don't understand why they would do that. It seems very stupid.
I think what you need to start doing is drinking while you watch movies, because I didn't notice that at all until I was surprised. I was like, oh, okay, all right. But I probably would have noticed that if I was sober and watching it. Yeah.
That's why I watch it drunk the first time and sober the second time.
So they then arrive at Danny's uncle's place and pretty easily convince him to help them.
Also, real quick, when they're driving, they meet Danny. Okay, so yeah, when they're on the truck headed there, Sarah notices that Grace is watching Danny as she sleeps, and I couldn't tell if they were trying to imply like Grace is like in love with Danny or something, because they do that like a couple times, but
it's hard
very,
to tell.
very, very subtle.
Yeah, it's hard to tell. I can't tell if it's just that she idolizes Danny or if she's actually in love with Danny.
But just that
could
scene
go either way.
specifically, like she's just like, you have Sarah watching her as she's like looking down, but she might as well be petting her head as she's sleeping.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
Chris used to watch me when I slept on your mom's couch, so
that's true. Did you pet his head?
I did not. I really wanted to.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, but did you really love me, or did you just love SpongeBob?
No,
Like you were just mad that I was blocking you.
He probably loved you because he associated you with SpongeBob.
Oh,
exactly.
Classical conditioning. There we go.
Yep. So where are we? Oh yeah. So Danny's uncle is going to help him. So they set out north to the border.
They also, before that, we see that Danny's trying to tell her uncle what's going on, and like that they're machines or whatever.
Yeah, she says robot. Yeah,
robots, and then he doesn't believe her, and then we see Grace kill a fly.
Yeah, she cuts a fly in half.
Yeah, like she pulls out a knife, cuts a fly in half, and it's her killing a fly with a knife more or less impressive than Daniel's son catching with chopsticks. What would you say? No, I'm asking. I'm asking.
I legit think the chopstick thing is more impressive because the fly is still alive.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it takes some finesse. Yeah. Exactly. It takes some finesse to keep that shit alive.
Maybe Ralph Macchio is just that weak though, to where he was like, and he couldn't kill it. I don't know.
I like it. Your yell just then sounded like Mr. Miyagi. Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, this is not a contrast, but you contrasted the scene of Terminator 2 where they proved to Miles Dyson and his wife.
Yeah.
But also they do kind of a good job here where Tio is whatever. I don't give a shit. I am a fucking coyote. And
he's like, you're my niece, I'm gonna help you.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure these people are not putting you in danger.
Also, it would have been really great if he would have made her cut her skin off. Yeah. And she's like, I'm a human. He's like, do it. And they're like,
come on, do it now.
Or no. He's like, well, how can you prove it? And then Sarah's like, you should probably cut your skin off.
Yeah, that's what actually would have happened. And Sarah's like, why don't you shave off a few inches of skin?
Well, the last person just cut their skin off.
Uncle Bob.
Oh, that's the other thing I don't think I've mentioned so far because it annoyed me, so I don't want to talk about it. But Grace and Sarah hate each other. They're very antagonistic towards each other.
Yeah, it's a start. It
improves later, but I'm just saying, they start off very antagonistic.
But she's like that with Arnold, and then she drops it right away too. So,
well, yeah, because they both want to be the leader. That's why.
Yeah,
they're butting heads. They're
it's just
Simon and Garfunkel.
Wait, which one's Simon?
Sarah Connor.
Okay, so which one's better?
Yeah, exactly.
Because I don't
Paul Simon.
Yeah,
by
Sarah
far.
Connor's better.
His first name's Paul?
Yeah, Paul Simon.
Paul
dude.
Simon.
His best work was his solo.
Why was I thinking his first name was Simple?
Simple Simon?
Jesus Christ. Isn't that the thing from Tropic Thunder?
I have no idea.
No, that was Simple Jack.
Oh, that's Simple Jack. Okay.
Okay, but does Johnny Garfunkel
Art?
Garfunkel is taller, just like Grace.
Well, everyone's taller than Paul Simon.
Yeah, he's got the fro. But does he suck or
No, Paul Simon was just kind of he wrote the songs and the music, and Garfunkel kind of sang them.
So did Garfunkel start working at a hardware store after they broke up, or?
I don't know. I've mainly just followed Paul Simon because he's fucking awesome.
Apparently, everybody did. The only Paul Simon song I know is the popular one, the 80s one, the Chevy Chase video.
Oh yeah, you can call me out.
Yeah.
That one's great.
That one is good, but
Yeah,
that's
you
the
should
one
listen to the album Graceland.
Come on.
And everybody out
mean
there.
Julio Down by the Schoolyard?
Yes.
Come on.
That,
I
yeah.
don't know.
You don't know that song?
Maybe.
There's no way you haven't heard that song.
Maybe. I don't know.
He even did it on Sesame Street. Yeah, that song's about two gay boys.
Is it? Is that what it's about?
I'm
Wait, which one?
pretty sure me and Julio down by the schoolyard.
Are they?
Oh.
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
I know they talk about like going to jail and going to hell and all that stuff, but I thought
Yeah.
it was more about like some weird
Well, that's why
crime
it's
that happened.
me
You just
and
blew
Julio.
Chris's mind. What? That was like the first time I found out that the singer from the B-52s was gay. I was like, what?
Yeah.
Whoa.
That every time I think of that band or watch.
Were you
their
there when
videos-
I figured it out?
No, but you told me that, and it just fucking it makes me laugh every time.
Like,
I'm like, that guy is like the definition of 80s gay. Like, he's the poster child of 80s gay.
by the way, when I figured it out, I was like 24 when someone, and it wasn't me figuring it out. It was someone mentioning that. Oh yeah, he's gay. I'm like, whoa, what? Like,
What?
and I was like shocked. I was like, no, it makes complete sense. How did I not figure that? Like, think about that till now. I was like, holy shit, yeah. Okay, well, yeah. I
Yeah,
guess
he
that
wasn't
does
trying to
make
hide
sense.
it either.
Yeah. I was like, okay, yeah. All right.
One last thing, I implore everybody to listen to 50 Ways to Leave Your Lover, the song, Graceland, the song,
is,
and Graceland, the album.
Garfunkel, right?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
But like the song Graceland and that whole album is amazing. So do it now. I mean, don't stop listening to this.
True.
But once it's done,
It can
do
wait.
it.
It's been around for 30 years. It can wait.
All right, and that's going to do it for part 1 of Terminator Dark Fate. As usual, we released both parts simultaneously, so part 2 is available now. Check it out. So I guess all that's left to say is thanks for listening, and we'll...
See you at the party, Richter!